Well, hello everyone. This is kind of my story of the moral dilemma that I had to deal with. It was a little difficult to remember if I had ever been put into a situation that wasn't obvious to answer what I should do. I mean, every day we go through temptations, and for me, I am very cut and dry. Or in this case, I would say a conventional moral person. What's right is right, and maybe I'll get rewarded and maybe not. But the point, I know whoever finds out, I won't get in trouble for it. Doing something that I know I shouldn't be doing does more than just poke away at my conscious mind. It will change my whole personality until I get what I need to say off my chest. Um, for my example, I once hit a car, and of course, my heart sank. I get out to look at the car to see what damage I had done. I knew in my head if there was any damage whatsoever, it would be minimal. I was pulling into a parking spot at this point. Looking at the front of my car, I realized that I had hit the back of this truck's tow hitch, not the actual truck itself. There was no damage to the truck or the front of my car. So I decided there's no point in bringing this to anyone's attention if there was no visible damage to either vehicle. So um, I still felt the need to tell someone. I made it across. I made it come across as kind of a joke, but assured them there was no damage before I even started the story. Um, that was my way with coping with what I had done. I mean, technically, it was a hit and run, but that day I had learned there are logical reasonings we have to take into account. For my specific example, I would say there was really no position that I was taking to make that decision to not say anything. I mean, there was no marks, scratches, not even to my vehicle. Thankfully, to the pliable bumper in the front. But if there had been damage to my car or theirs, I would have no doubt reported any damage to the paint of their vehicle without question. Um, I would hope the person who I told the truth to would at least have some type of reasoning if the vehicle wasn't damaged too bad. Um, the consequences I would pay for a hit and run would by far outweigh any reason to not say anything. Even though no one was around to see it, just the idea that it was possible automatically compelled me to would automatically compel me to say something. Um, the reality was I didn't know if someone had saw it or not, but I already had the story ready to go in my head. Like no damage was done. Um, for the sake of the story, let's say that I did do a great deal of damage to the vehicle. Looking at it from a pre-conventional standpoint, there would have been no reason for me to mention anything to anyone since no one was around. It never happened if no one knew it happened, at least from that point of view. If I don't say anything, then no one knows, and no punishment would have come about. Firstly, I would have moved my car away from the scene and walked to work. I think being confronted, I would still have to deny it since I know what the repercussions of a hit and run are. Um, I will not really only be seen as like a criminal, but a coward if anyone found out, which I think would be far worse than any fine I'll ever have to pay. I would definitely be looking at my own self interest to not have any consequences, and I would have done whatever it took to make sure I was out of the woods. That's kind of my take on it. Thank you.